Dunque, buon pomeriggio a tutti, grazie di essere qui e soprattutto grazie al Vicepresidente degli Stati Uniti J.D. Vance, alla Presidente della Commissione Europea Ursula von der Leyen per aver accettato questo invito. I will repeat it in English.
Thank you.
Quando un mese fa sono stata ospite del Presidente Trump a Washington, avevo proposto un incontro tra Unione Europea e Stati Uniti. Sono molto orgogliosa di avere l'occasione oggi di ospitare due dei leader di Stati Uniti e di Unione Europea per iniziare un dialogo. Noi sappiamo che ci sono molte questioni da discutere, sappiamo anche che ci sono dei problemi che vanno superati, sappiamo soprattutto quanto le nostre relazioni, le relazioni tra Europa e Stati Uniti siano fondamentali nell'ambito di un Occidente che vuole mantenere chiaramente la sua unità, che vuole mantenere la sua forza, che deve essere ancora in grado di, disegnare la rotta. Sappiamo quanto siano importanti le nostre relazioni commerciali e siamo qui ovviamente per discutere di tutto questo. Io spero che la giornata di oggi possa essere un primo incontro e un nuovo inizio. Chiaramente per esempio per la materia commerciale voi sapete che la competenza in Europa è della Commissione e quindi il ruolo dell'Italia è soprattutto un ruolo legato alla necessità di favorire, alla voglia di favorire il dialogo, ma sicuramente voglio ringraziare i miei due interlocutori per aver offerto questa occasione. I was saying thank you for being here. First of all, thank you for having accepted my invitation. When I came to Washington, I was proposing President Trump a meeting between the EU and the US, and I'm proud that after 1 month there is this initial meeting in which we can sit down and share our points of view, trying to go on. We know how important is the relation between the EU and the US for a strong West, for our civilization, also for our economic relations that worth 30% of the world exchange. And so I hope that this meeting can be a new beginning, let's say like that. And I was also saying that there are some topics which are competence of the Commission, so the role of Italy is mainly the role of trying to help a dialogue, which I think is very important, frank, open, but knowing how important we are for each other. So I stop here. Vice President, please.
Great, thank you, Prime Minister Meloni, who's become a good friend of mine, and I know I speak for the President when I say we're both big fans of yours and, of course, of Italy. The people of Italy have been most gracious, especially today, which was a beautiful ceremony, and all credit goes to the Vatican, but, of course, your government for making it possible for so many foreign leaders to come in and celebrate Pope Leo's inaugural Mass. Of course, an American Pope. The United States is very proud of him, very thrilled with him, and certainly our prayers go with him as he starts this very important work. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I think one of the things that Prime Minister Meloni has offered to do, and of course the President and I are excited to accept, is really to be a bridge builder, I think, in some ways, between Europe and the United States. I've said repeatedly that I think Europe is an important ally of the United States. The individual countries within Europe are important allies of the United States. But of course we have some disagreements, as friends sometimes do, on issues like trade. And we also have many agreements and many things that we can work on together. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. So I appreciate Prime Minister Meloni's hospitality. I appreciate Commissioner von der Leyen being here and being willing to engage in this conversation. I think we'll have a great conversation and hopefully will be the beginning of some long-term trade negotiations and some long-term trade advantages between both Europe and the United States.
Yes, first of all, thank you very much, dear Giorgia, for your hospitality, for having received us here today, for enabling this trilateral. So a wonderful day in the Vatican. Thank you very much for that. And Vice President, it's good to see you again. We've met in Paris, now here in Rome. And as you said, we have a very special and close relationship. If I may look at trade, indeed, we have the largest trade relationship in the world.
Sure.
With more than $1.5 trillion per year. Very much intertwined. So indeed it is important now, we've exchanged papers, that our experts are deep diving, are discussing the details. Everybody knows that the devil is in the detail, but what unites us is that at the end we want together to have a good deal for both sides. I would like also to raise the topic of Ukraine. what unites us is that we want a just and lasting peace.
Sure.
And I know how much you are engaged in ending this war, and I thank you for that. So what is important now is certainly that we push that things are moving forward, and I think the next week will be crucial on that. And finally, perhaps an important topic between us also is the topic of defense. And I know that the European member states have to step up the investment in defense. This is why, as a Commission, we have enabled the use of up to 800 billion euros in the next 4 years for defense investment. And this, of course, will strengthen the European Union, but we know what a strong Europe means always also a strong NATO. So we will certainly take stock at the NATO summit, but today, very glad to be here for this trilateral, and thank you very much again, Giorgia.
You're welcome. Consentitemi solamente, l'avete sentito dalla voce dei nostri ospiti, di ringraziare tutte le persone che hanno consentito anche oggi, gli uomini, le donne che hanno lavorato perché anche oggi fosse una giornata perfetta che dà lustro all'Italia, alla sua capacità organizzativa, alla sua capacità di ospitare i propri omologhi. I was saying thank to all the people that have been working this morning to allow the ceremony to be perfect, e quindi grazie davvero a tutte queste persone.
Grazie.
E adesso andiamo al lavoro.
Take care.
Thank you.